So I asked you to think about something that you're very good at, because I know if you're very good at it, you must have learned it well. And if you learned it
Mhm.
well, you must have been in a good state of mind for learning, that we call a learning state. So a little bit of how I think of states of mind is a little different than some people talk about it these days. So here's something that we all know. We all know that a lot of times when we're doing something really, really well, when we're very, very capable, it's because we're in the right state of mind. We've all had the experience of doing something really, really well one day, and the next day we try to do the same thing and we're terrible at it. Well, that's not because we forgot how. It's because the state of mind that we're in doesn't support those capabilities on that second day, and they did on the first day. So all of us know that our capabilities depend in large part on the state of mind that we're in. Everybody knows that. We also all know that things that happen outside of us can affect our state of mind. And there's always stuff going on outside of us that can be very powerful in the way that it affects our state of mind. Uh, all you have to do any day is turn on the news, especially lately. And as we're recording this, there's a horrible war going on right next to where you live. And if you turn on the news and look at that, it's not going to give you a great feeling. And
Yeah.
that feeling that you get is going to affect you. That's your state of mind. It's built out of that feeling. And I'll talk more about that in just a moment. So that's something that can affect us. And all of us have things that happen on a recurring basis that affect us, that might affect our state of mind negatively. We also have ones that go the other way, things that make us feel really good or really valuable in some way, and give us the kind of state that gives us the capabilities we really want to have. An example I like to give is many people have someone who calls them on the telephone, and as soon as you hear this person's voice, you go, ugh, because it's somebody that every time you talk to them, it's not going to be a pleasant experience. And we all have those people. We all also have other people who take us the other way. If I hear one of my niece's voice, for example,
Yeah.
on the phone, I'm as happy as I can be, and it's going to be a good day. So these external things can affect us. So can the things inside of us, though, as well. We all know that our memory and our imagination can affect our state of mind as well. Everybody who has a memory, which is all of us, can experience something from our past that recreates the feelings that we had at that time. So let's talk a little bit about why this works this way, because it matters when you're helping people to understand how this works. Our brains, as we all know, are filled with neurons, brain cells. And just the mathematics of this is very interesting. The outer layer of your brain is called the cortex. For most adults, the cortex in our brain has about 10 or 12 billion neurons. So that's a lot. The entire brain has probably well over 100 billion neurons. And there are many other cells active as well, but those are the ones that we talk about most of the time. So what does a neuron do? Well, for the most part, an individual neuron doesn't know how to do much of anything. Some do, but most of them have to connect to other ones in what we call neural pathways or circuits to make something happen. And the circuits turn on to allow us to do something. Now, we have circuits in our brain that operate our breathing, our heart rate, our metabolism, all kinds of things that we're not immediately aware of. But we also have ones that turn on our thinking, that allow us to do certain things, or even skills that we have, even athletic skills. For example, if I'm playing tennis, I have to have a bunch of neural circuits turned on, a bunch of neural pathways that allow me to see the ball, lift the ball, hit it properly, see what my opponent is doing. So there's a whole bunch of circuits that are dedicated to playing tennis. I'm also a musician. I have a whole bunch of circuits that are dedicated to playing the drums in all different kinds of music. The ones that are turned on when I'm playing tennis are dedicated to tennis. They don't do me any good when I'm playing the drums. And the ones for playing music don't do me any good on the tennis court. So one of the things most people don't know is we have dedicated circuits in our brains for doing specific things. The circuits that are turned on at any one time and the others that are turned off determines our state of mind. That's what it is. Your state of mind is the collection of neural pathways that are active at that moment. And some neural pathways will interfere with other ones. So certain ones have to be turned on, certain ones have to be turned off. That's the way our brain works. So for everything that we do, we have to be able to turn those neural pathways back on. So how does our memory work? Well, this is something else about the brain that's useful to know. Memory is not something that happens in a particular place in our brain. So for example, we don't have a memory of high school here, and when we learned how to play tennis here, and when we learned how to drive a car over here. It doesn't work that way.